Hey everyone, welcome to Ludicrous Feed live on a Wednesday night, 29th of November 2023. Nice of you to join us watching live. I can see at least 58 viewers already, so if you're joining us live, make sure you give us a shout out where you're watching from and what it's like down where you are watching too. If you're watching this on replay, thanks so much. Welcome, and make sure you leave a comment as well. And if you're listening to us on podcast, welcome as well. Thanks for joining us. Let's say hello to our regular guests. As always, we have Riz from Carloop and also Rahul as well. Hello, gentlemen. So nice to see you both on a Wednesday night. Riz, we'll start with you. How are you this afternoon or evening?
Yeah, going well. It's pretty stormy here in Melbourne, but it doesn't stop us. There's quite a few things happening in the world. It's a big week this week for Tesla and just the general EV community. So we'll talk about that a bit later on.
Yeah, exactly. So much to discuss tonight. Absolutely. How are you, Rahul? How's things down in Melbourne?
Evening, Tom. Evening, Riz. Yeah, concur with Riz. Been a miserable day here in Melbourne, but that's when we make the most of it here in Melbourne, being the cultured folk that we are, so to speak. Somebody else, unfortunately, was feeling a lot more miserable than the weather, and that would be Tim Pallas in the Victorian government.
That's right. We'll get to that very shortly, of course. But good news for EV owners anyway. Breaking news today, of course. We'll get to that very shortly. But before we do, let's say hello to our sponsors. As always, we have Carloop. We have Koba car insurance, links in the video description to sign up for Koba. We have Wallbox and EV as well, EV car sharing and Wallbox electric vehicle wall connectors, discount codes in the video description below as always. And thank you, Riz from Carloop as well. Data to empower Australia's EV revolution as always. Let's say hello to some of our regular guests as always. Some of our members who are joining us. We've got Sensei from a monsoonal rain Sydney upper North Shore. Yes, it's been quite heavy this afternoon with the rain as well. Some of that has drifted north from Melbourne, I can see. Richard agrees with you, gents. Coming at you live and direct from rainy Melbourne today. Yep, wind blowing a gale outside. We have Andy joining us from sunny Whyalla. Hello, Andy. Nice of you to join us. And Elizabeth, I agree. Lots of early people tonight. So 104 viewers already. 3 minutes in, gents. What an amazing audience as always we have. Jez, hello from sunny Melbourne. Sunny Melbourne. What's going on? It must be a different part of Melbourne. Sitting around Hollywood, Riz Akhtar's pool and rack lapping up the sunshine. What's happening, Riz? What's going on?
Look, you know how things change. Once you're in a Spectre or a BMW i5 for that matter, it's a different world. I had Jess come over, do a couple of laps in the pool, and before we know, we'll get picked up after this for after the stream after party. So we're celebrating here.
Yeah, but I think that part of Melbourne is you do control the weather there as well. So you've just got the sun to come in amongst the clouds, break away, and there you've got sun in Toorak.
It's always sunshine in Toorak.
They don't call him Hollywood Riz for nothing, do they, Rahul? That's showing his colours right there. I have Sensei saying, yes, support us on PayPal. Actually, on a serious note, to end the year, we will be actually donating some money to a charity. So we will try to narrow some choices next week. Maybe we'll set up a poll for the top 4 charities. But if you can list a few charities in the stream that you would like us to donate to as a gift on behalf of everyone on Ludicrous Feed, drop them in the channel chat below. We'll take note of those for sure. So yes, we are donating to charity as a gesture for the end of year festivities as they come up. So check that PayPal page out if you want to donate as well on behalf of the channel. We've got Charles joining us from Hobart. Hey Charles, nice to see you home. That's good. And Wayne joining us from Toowoomba as always. Thank you very much. And Tassie Thylacines joining us. Hello there, Tassie. Nice to see you. We've got Peter Cook from Canberra. Hello. Where it never rains, but it pours. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Last time I was there, it was pretty windy as well. We have Rob S joining us from Surf Coast. I'm just going through the members' chats, by the way. There's quite a few of you saying hello, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But I do have to give priority to members. Jasper Perry Stewart saying hello from Catherine, Northern Territory. Hello there. Nice of you to join us. We have Kangaroo TV saying hello as well. Nice of you to join us. Gene says, got my snorkel, waiting for my seal. Yep, contract signed, just waiting for a test drive and then delivery. Yeah, had a few people getting their seals this week, BYD seal, or at least it's starting to hit deliveries, or starting to hit the capital cities for deliveries too, which is good. Adam Peck's joining us. Hello from Wet Melbourne. And yeah, we've got Graham Watson got a question here. What will all the Victorians do with their refunded illegal taxes? All right, let's get into that question right now. So as Rahul touched on earlier today, we have breaking news. Chris Vanderstock, friend of the channel, who came on to talk about this as well. He was very much involved in getting this tax rescinded or revoked in Victoria. Breaking news, he says, Nine News has learned that Tim Pallas, Victorian motorists, or Tim Pallas, your treasurer, Victorian treasurer, that Victorian motorists who pay the zero and low emissions vehicle tax will be getting a refund. And looks like ABC News has confirmed that as well. So Victorian government to repay electric vehicle owners over unconstitutional tax. Gents, Riz, Rahul, you must be over the moon with this decision today.
Yeah, I saw Kathleen, the other plaintiff, for taking the Victorian government to court last week at the Electric Vehicle Association's meeting, and she sort of shared her journey, and there's a lot that went through, a lot of sacrifices to get to this stage. And Chris came on the channel and spoke about it as well. So last week we weren't sure. One of the big questions was, are Victorians going to get their money back? And I guess the government's been forced to, hand some of that back. I personally will more than likely be donating it to some sort of an environmental charity. I'm not sure which one yet. But, I guess it's for the right cause. We can't say we want to decarbonize transport and reduce our emissions in Victoria, but then tax people who are doing the right thing. So that's just my take on it. But yeah, good win for Chris and Kathleen and everyone else as well in Victoria, but also generally Australia-wide.
Yeah, Rahul, what are your thoughts on this? Happy?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. And I'll second what Riz is saying, that I think that's a great idea. The money that we get from the unconstitutional EV tax would be good to go towards a environmental charity. Riz and I will concur on that a little bit and see what we can put that money through to. But yeah, I just feel like it's just so much lost time and effort in that 18 months, 2 years that the tax has been in. Then they've gone to court over it. They've had to pay the legal costs, of the challenge, and now they're going to have to return the money as well. The opposition, for once, is doing the right thing here in Victoria. The Liberals are saying you need to return the money to the people who have paid the tax before the end of Christmas. I think that's a great idea. But yeah, just a lot of time, a lot of money wasted. They could have just, found other ways of making up that loss of revenue from the excise, which didn't go towards roads anyway. So yeah, we'll put that chapter behind us. Thank you to Chris and Kathleen for bringing that case to the front. And a little bit of an early Christmas present for us Victorians.
Yeah, that's right. Well said, Rahul. Well said, Riz. And yeah, you touched on a very important point, both of you, that both Chris and Kathleen spent a lot of their own time and probably their own money too to get this across the line for Victorians, and not just Victorians, but basically all Australians moving forward, because now other states will probably think twice about instilling a tax like this, given there's now a precedent for this to be overruled because it's unconstitutional. And Chris said today that he's very happy that obviously Tim Pallas and the Victorian government has decided to refund Victorian drivers, because at this time of year we could absolutely use the extra cash. By having it removed, I think it's once again restored our faith in that we can go electric and help decarbonize our world and improve the health of everyone. And of course, Chris is from a health worker background too. So yeah, that's great to see, and well done this to Chris and Kathleen, and I'm glad the right decision has been reached. So that's good to see. Let's say hello to some of our new members. I've got Matt's becoming a new member, Matt Steele, thank you very much. And we've got Crunch to Grace Hopper as well as a new member. Thanks for joining us. And SWS as well. Thanks, everyone. That's great to see. Much appreciated. Thanks for joining the channel. So that's a good question from Graham here. What will all the Victorians do with their refunded illegal taxes? Yeah, fill the chat with what you're going to do. Will you be donating to charity? Will you be spending it on Christmas presents? Maybe shouting Kathleen and Chris a drink over Christmas as well. Yeah, Chris has got a Patreon page on his YouTube channel, so go check that out. Cool. Let's go see what else we've got here. We've got Bob asking, when are we going to see Cybertruck, even just one on a promotional tour would be cool. Yep, that's a good segue into what is coming up tomorrow. Well, actually, probably Friday our time, but tomorrow their time in the US, which is, of course, the Cybertruck delivery date. There it is, the press release from Tesla today that the Cybertruck delivery event will occur in Austin, Texas, 28th November, which is that's the press time. The delivery date is Thursday, November 30th, 2023, Central Time US, which is going to be, I think, from memory, about 7 or 8 a.m. our time in Eastern Daylight Time, gents, from memory.
7 a.m.
Friday
in the
morning. 7 a.m. in the morning. There you go. So live stream on X. I assume YouTube as well, but given X is associated with Elon Musk, there'll be a live stream on X too. So yeah, good to see. Probably employees, gents, I would think, getting their trucks at this stage.
There's about 25 of them that were spotted outside the factory. So, and then there's also been other Tesla employees that have said maybe 10 will be delivered, but I guess we'll find out. Either way, a fair few of them went out to the showrooms in many parts of America and Canada over the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sort of a period, and tens of thousands of people got to see it in person and were sort of wowed by it, and some of the photos are pretty impressive. So yeah, it's happening. It's real.
Yeah, it's definitely real. Let's put on this this video here that was shared by X account OMG Tesla /Rivian.
Yeah, I think you want to go back to the start of that, Tom.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, that is just incredible.
With those lights, right?
Incredible. But I think also the way you explain it, Tom, what's happening in that video.
Yeah, look at that air suspension going up.
Unbelievable.
That's cool, huh? Look at those wheels too. They are chunky.
And, considering that it's a big truck, amazing turning circle as well.
Look at these cars next to... I'll just go back here because it was next to a Model Y. It looks like a baby next to that thing. It's so big. And you're right, Rahul. It's so tight as it just goes around like that.
Yeah, I just love all those. There's no curve in that whatsoever. It's just lines, triangles. Yeah, I'm not a maths person, but just like it looks absolutely out of a Blade Runner movie that somebody would have created for a film. But here we are in 24 hours time or 48 hours time. It's actually real in the flesh, being shown at Cybertruck live stream delivery event. Incredible work from Tesla.
Yeah, so my 2015 Model S has got air suspension, and it's a really useful feature actually for sloping driveways and I assume off-road for this thing. But yeah, that's quite a bit of lift there. Look at that. That's got to be what? I don't know. I can't tell from the video, but a good, 10, 15 centimeters? I don't know. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, good to see. And yeah, we're looking forward to that later this week, aren't we? With the live stream that Tesla will be doing for us. Cool. All right. Yeah, let's see what else we've got for Cybertruck. We will get to the Highland Model 3, everyone. I'm seeing a few comments in the live stream asking me to share my thoughts. So I will get to that very shortly. But let's just get through some more Cybertruck videos before we do that. And this is more shots of the Cybertruck here. That's the Cyber Owl on Sentry mode. It's pretty cool. Watching you. Nice. And one more for the Cybertruck. This is a Cybertruck Convoy. Oh. The angle's not so good, the viewing angle, but it's a convoy of them heading to delivery, I guess. I don't know. Imagine seeing that on the Hume Freeway, gents.
Yeah, I think there was a convoy of 6 heading to Giga Texas for the event. I think you're right, Tom. Is that the first deliveries would be to employees, or to people higher up in that Tesla sort of chain, perhaps 1 or 2 social media X followers who've got large followings. probably somebody like, I'm trying to think, Marquise Brownlee.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get a run. He's a great reviewer of all things tech. Looking forward to his rundown of that as well. All right, well, that's Cybertruck. And yeah, thanks for sharing that, gents, during the week. Sorry. But let's quickly, I guess we should probably talk about the Highland Model 3, given I had loan of it this week. And I just want to thank Tesla very much for suiting me up, so to speak, with this beautiful red, ultra red Tesla Model 3 Highland 2024. Look at that car. How good is that? It just looks so nice in that shot. And that deep red looks really good.
That's literally the red that I would have gone for on the Y if Tesla had that. And obviously, ultimately, we went with the wrap because we just could not find that sort of the tone in that red is just incredible. Love the minimization on the cars as well. Love the diffuser as well. Everything just ties in so well with this new version, Tom. So yeah, a little bit envious that you've had it for a week. Give us your thoughts on what you thought of it. Oh, and the stalkless steering wheel as well.
Yes, thanks, Rahul. Yes, it's I'm very grateful to Tesla for loaning me this out. I think I was probably one of the first in the country to get to drive it. So yeah, it's like this red looks good in photos, but wait till you see it in person. It's just like chef's kiss red. Like I've never seen red that nice. So definitely worth checking out. I would say overall, to be realistic, it drives just like a Tesla Model 3 in terms of how you steer it and stuff, but definitely better suspension on the same roads I've been driving my old Model 3 on. So it's definitely smoother ride, better acoustics inside. So less road noise coming through. And also, I guess premium finish. So it definitely looks a lot nicer inside too. Everything just feels more plush, softer materials. Everything just looks like a much more premium car compared to the old Model 3. So yeah, I guess the most controversial part of the Model 3, of course, is the fact that it doesn't have stalks. And I've been trying to show my driving around town without the stalks, just using the indicators. I'd say 90 to 95% of the time it's fine. It's no problem. Like you get used to, turning right or left pretty quickly. I guess the edge case, of course, is the roundabouts where you have to indicate out in the states that are, where it's legal. And obviously in other states where it's a courtesy thing to do. If you don't cross your hands, no problem. Just, you know where your buttons are. But as soon as you cross your hands, then you've got to kind of think upside down a little bit and press, which way you're trying to exit. So that's probably the hardest bit to adjust to, and it will take some practice. Other bits are obviously 3-point turn, trying to do that quickly, just sliding up and down with the gear shift. And probably, trying to turn right and left really quickly as well, where the wheel's not quite 9 center. So they're probably the edge cases for dealing with the stalkless Tesla Model 3. But otherwise, great car. And I think hopefully you all will get a chance to test drive it very soon as well. So video on YouTube, check that out. I've got a few more coming as well this week. Have you guys had a chance to look at it, Riz, Rahul?
I had a chance on Saturday to have a look at it in Mulgrave. They did a small unveiling. Apparently, there were a lot more people at the Tesla Owners Club unveiling in Richmond than there were at Mulgrave on Saturday. And we only had a grey one there. But then I was told that there was a red one at Eastland Shopping Centre, which is in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. So I went to look at it, and it's indoors, and it was a sort of an overcast day. But looking at that red, it's in person. It's a lot deeper than Mazda's Soul Red. And there's a lot of comments. I mean, it's a good comparison. In photos, it looks very similar. But in person, it's like very cherry, like not as cherry red as the cherry red out of Berlin, but it looks really, really cool. One of the best reds that I've ever seen.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the time to go and have a look at it. But yeah, hoping for some time off this week. And hopefully there is still a Tesla Model 3, the new 2024 version in Richmond Tesla stores there somewhere.
You're on mute, Tom.
Sorry, everyone. Yeah, I'm sure it will be a permanent fixture moving forward. It's definitely worth checking out. What's really interesting, though, is I can share with you on my comments that I would say the overwhelming majority of people, both Tesla owners and just curious people, are not a fan of the stalkless indicators at this stage, which I've found very interesting. So yeah, I think you just got to drive it for yourself. And if you're really keen on this car, you got to ask yourself, are all the improvements like the aerodynamics, the premium interior, the better suspension, the better acoustics, just the better look of the vehicle, will all these things offset the fact that the stalks might be an issue for you? So I guess that's the $60,000 question you've got to ask yourself, whether it's worth doing. So I think it's definitely worth a test drive. Try to be in situations where you think, oh, like, would I do this naturally in a desperate situation where, you got to think quickly, right? That's like the edge case, where you go back to old habits where you're trying to press something else or toggle something else or shift a stalk that's not there. So that's what I'd be doing during test drive. Just a bit of advice for you. But yeah, lots to think about in the next few weeks with regards to whether I take delivery of this car or the grey one, which I've got on order, or the BYD Seal. So stay tuned, everyone. That will be my decision to make. Let's go through some of the comments. I can see some questions for the red Model 3, and I'll work my way back through the comments before. Okay, so Greg's saying, yes, after 2 weeks, the stalks will be forgotten. It's like range anxiety. Yeah, okay, we'll see. Yeah, I've only got it for a week, but I've been told by Tesla that I can have it later on too. So just stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll do a longer road trip with it. How the panel gaps? Yeah, not an issue anymore. Tesla make pretty good cars now from that point of view. The Chinese Gigafactory in Shanghai is fantastic. Graham asks, please explain the button pressing to indicate. Do you push up and down or just push one side or the other of the button? Yeah, just press. They're not really buttons. They're actually haptic kind of buttons. So they're not physical buttons. You just press it once to indicate. Yeah, lots of people saying they're aftermarket companies making stalks. So yeah, look out for those. Someone suggested maybe Bluetooth stalks. That would be a bad idea. I tried voice activated indication, didn't work. Maybe that'll be a software update. Yeah, so there you go. Matt's saying he's driving one on Friday. Good. Tell us what you think maybe next week. Opinion on cooled seats. Oh, now this is a fantastic feature. And this alone might be worth getting this car because, wow. I mean, I've not had a very hot day yet in Sydney yet, but just having that cooling through the seats and lower back, it's like, I don't sweat a lot, but still, it was very nice to have a nice cool bum on a sort of moderate day. I can't imagine how nice it would be on a hot summer's day. So it was really nice, I must say. Expression on your face, taking off the screen protector. Yeah, had to do that. They let me do it, actually. They were going to do it, but then they said, oh, we'll let Tom do it on camera. So that's nice of them. Yeah, so yeah, very, very fortunate to be able to drive this. Wednesday, 29th November, Judgment Day. TESLATOM has become self-aware of the Model 3 Highland. The world waits with bated breath the ensuing review. Thanks. Yeah, so thank you, everyone, for supporting the channel. I can see as well. So I think Sensei has gifted someone a membership. I didn't quite see who it was, but thank you, Sensei, as always. Yeah, and more comments on the Cybertruck. Thank you. Excellent. Someone saying 7 a.m. Yep, 7 a.m. our time, AEDT. And thank you, Richard. He'll be buying Kathy a dinner at the annual AEVA dinner next month. Cool. Good idea. Cool. All right. So that's Highland Model 3. If you've got any more questions, yeah, I'll try to answer them as the stream goes on. But yeah, thanks for watching that video, everyone. Make sure you get onto it if you haven't watched it yet. Tassie EV1 says, I suspect stalkless could make people ignore doing the right thing had they had stalks. Yeah, I don't know, gents. I mean, you don't have to share this, but do you indicate out of roundabouts normally in Victoria?
So in Victoria, no. But even when I'm in other states, I basically pretend to be a BMW driver. So I mean, driving the i5 at the moment, it's fitting. So it doesn't matter. I don't indicate anywhere. So that's just the BMW driver's life. But having said that, I did notice, Tom, obviously you were indicating as you were leaving roundabouts in Victoria. I don't believe it's a requirement. In Queensland, when I was working up there, it was. So just getting a bit used to it. We're lucky we don't have a yoke plus no stalks.
Yeah. At the media event, I I can share that we were told that the feedback from customers was that I think the yoke and the stalkless was just too much in the Model S for some people. Hence why they gave a steering wheel option. So I guess for the mass market Model 3, they just went, just stalkless for now. I think the yoke and the stalkless would have been a bit too much for some people. I mean, 9 and 3 would be the ideal driving position, but at the moment, sometimes you just do need to cross your hands. At like those really tight turns. So I tried today. I did a 360 roundabout, 360, 180, just going around again. I just couldn't. My shoulders aren't too bad. They're pretty agile, but even I was like, oh, I can't do this. So yeah, that's something that Tesla need to be aware of, I guess. Tassie EV1 says, Seal has ventilated seats. It does, yes. Kind of hoping you'll stick with the Seal even if for 6 months before flipping it. Yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. Got some decisions to make. Blind spot red light. Yeah, very subtle in that triangle in that A-pillar corner. I've got a couple of videos showing that footage. So yeah, it's okay. Like I actually forgot it was there, to be honest. But yeah, it's definitely there if you use it. Opinion on interior LED light, tacky or not? No, I don't think it's tacky. It looks quite nice, actually. And they've increased the intensity of the interior lighting too. And that makes a huge difference in like a garage, a dark garage, or in a car park where it's a bit darker. The interior just looks a lot brighter, which I quite appreciate. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Hi, guys. Did you catch the video showing the BYD Seal battery crash test? I did, actually. That was in the Robert Llewellyn fully charged video. He did show that. That was pretty good. Simon agrees with you, Riz. BMW drivers never use indicators either. It's funny. Oh, Jeremy's got his joke. Oh, he's got his Wednesday joke. It's normally a Saturday thing for Jeremy. Why are deliveries by EVs always more expensive? Because EVs do not like to be free of charge. Oh, classic. Very good. Very good. Okay, let's move on with today's news. But again, like I said, any questions about the Highland, just drop it in the live chat there if you're watching live, or comments if you are watching on replay. All right, so just sticking with Tesla for the moment. So Sawyer says Tesla FSD version 12 has reportedly started rolling out to employees with update 2023.38.10. It's good to see. That's going to be the final FSD, isn't it? That the beta is dropped, I think. This is it. And locally, Bob, ex-Twitter account, Bob said, just realized that the enable full self-driving visualization preview option in my Tesla is no longer there post-update. However, the visualizations seem to be on default by now. Anyone else noticing this? So let us know in the chat if you see that.
Yeah, I haven't quite seen this. And I also know that somebody mentioned that the latest update with your Tesla now has single pull down on the stalk to get the FSD engaged. I haven't got that version as yet. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. And I believe that when Elon live streamed on X when he was driving, I think in San Fran, he was driving version 12. So it'd be interesting to see if this is the final version that they roll out to everybody. Yeah, looking forward to that because I'm sure there's other people in the live stream, but yeah, I did pay for FSD in both the previous Model 3 and the current Model Y that we are driving.
Yeah, good point, Rahul. I think I assume they'll just release it in batches first, as they have always for software updates, just to be sure. But yeah, I think this will be it. Yeah, whether it comes to Australia, I don't know. It'd be a good Christmas present for sure. We'll see. Yes, take some more questions from the audience. We've got a question here. Says, Tom, do you see the indicator button wearing out the plastic? Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't know. I don't think so. It's made pretty well, but yeah, I guess time will tell. But you're right, though. If you keep pressing it, yeah. Maybe BMW drivers don't need to worry about this, Riz. You don't press it anyway, right?
What are indicators? That's the real point here. On a slightly different question, obviously with the new Highland Model 3, autopilot is one touch on the steering wheel?
Yeah, so like Rahul said, you can actually flick between single and double. You use the right scrolling wheel to activate it now. So you can either press it once or twice, depending whether you want cruise control or autopilot, or single if you've set that already. The one thing I did notice too about having single pull or single press is that if you don't have like EAP or FSD, if you switch lanes in the past, if you switch lanes, autopilot will switch to cruise control. But if you've got single press, then it just cancels everything. Doesn't even go back to cruise control. So if you like that option of having cruise control after you change lanes, which I do, then that might not be such a good thing. So that's something I noticed. Question from Greg: now you've driven the Highland, would you buy a run-out Model 3 or save weight for Highland? Oh, great question, Greg. Great question. Great question. I mean, for me, because I have a YouTube channel, I'll probably just get the Highland just to show people how it's done. But yeah, it'd be a tough one. If it's a deal breaker for a lot of people, this stalkless Model 3. For me, I think the better finish and fit will probably overrule the stalks for me personally. Where it might come undone is if you were to lend your car to someone who hasn't driven Model 3 in the past or may not be used to stalkless, then that might be an issue. But if this is like your car and your car only and it's your baby, then I think you probably learn quickly enough, I think. So yeah, I'll probably still get the Highland 3 rather than a second-hand older one, just personally. JS asks, as you're turning, the indicators are moving with the steering wheel. If you want to indicate late, you probably need to find the buttons. Yes. So at this stage, I've only had this car for 48 hours, and I'm still kind of looking down just to be sure I'm pressing the right button. But yeah, over time, I think I know where it is. I'm not sure. I mean, it's like undoing 25 years of driving, as I said in the video. Yeah, old habits sometimes do die hard. Yeah, good suggestion, Jasper. A night drive video, yeah. I mean, maybe after the stream, I'll head out just for a quick drive. Never know. Why not? Yeah. Greg says steer by wire. Yeah, maybe. And adjust the what's it called? Variable angle steering limit. Some cars have that. Yeah, so you don't have to go fully to turn, just like a quarter turn. Oh, Jez is shouting us coffee, gents. Donation to turn up the heat in Rahul Prasad's sauna and improve Riz Akhtar's background and to repaint Tom's garage floor Tesla Ultra Red. Yeah, that $5 should cover it. Thank you, Jez. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Jez. Very kind.
Greg says, no thoughts on no sensors, just using camera vision. Well, stay tuned. I've got a video on that. I actually measured how accurate the camera is in the front, particularly because there's no front bumper camera. You're relying on the cameras behind the dash. So stay tuned for that. Okay, cool. Let's move on with today's news. So keep going, and we've got Sawyer again saying Tesla Model 3s have finally arrived in Malaysia. First deliveries will start next week. Excellent. Starting to roll out in Southeast Asia. And staying in Southeast Asia, Thailand Prime Minister Seta stated in an interview that Tesla's senior management will visit Thailand this week to discuss potential site selection for a new factory. He said Tesla plans to invest at least $5 billion. Gents, we know Thailand is kind of like the Detroit of the Southeast Asian region. Not really surprising, is it, Rahul?
No, I think it's been sort of coming, and I know that people in Australia would love Tesla to open up a factory here. I think Nash, we'd like Tesla Wollongong, but sorry, Nash. Just with the labor, the unions, the cost of doing business in Australia, the taxation purposes, blah, 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 all those sorts of things. It just makes a lot of sense for Tesla to position itself into Thailand as a hub for supplying, as a second hub for supplying cars into Asia and Australasia and New Zealand as well. So let's see if that comes through. I haven't heard that from Elon or from Tesla directly. But yeah, I kind of feel like this is the way for them to go forward in Asia. I think with deliveries ramping up, with production ramping up, with demand ramping up, they will definitely need a second factory in Asia, just like they're needing a second factory or third factory in Mexico in a couple of years' time as well.
That's right. And hopefully learnings from Shanghai as well, heading to Thailand. Shanghai seems to do it quite well. So yeah, good to see. Thank you, Jez, for gifting a membership. Much appreciated. I see the beneficiary is Aaron Crofts. So thank you, Jez. Welcome, Aaron. And people saying, yes, Thailand's right-hand drive, so makes sense for them to make a Cybertruck here. Maybe a smaller Cybertruck for Australia. Yeah, and Tassie EV1 says, BYD already building a factory in Thailand. Yeah, true. That's right. Very close to Australia, Thailand. Short flight. Yes, and on behalf of everyone, thank you for supporting Ludicrous Feed. It helps keeps the lights on. Yeah, guess so. Thank you. Much appreciated. That's right, Gigagong. Gigagong. That's that's the Wollongong, the mayor of Nashville. Good friend Nash. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's move on with more news. So back to Tesla again. Model Y is on track to being the best-selling car overall in Europe for 2023. This would be the first time an EV took the top spot. Yep, that's good. Good to see. And sticking with Tesla, 16,700 Teslas were insured in China last week, up 35% year on year. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think their closest competitor, both in Europe and China, was Toyota by a long margin. Not bad joke, gents. Just trying to get that Toyota
watch.
Toyota watch in there.
Yeah, that's definitely a show of growth in China for sure. And sticking with China, Tesla has launched a limited time $1,200 US dollar insurance incentive in China for rear-wheel drive Model 3 Y buyers if delivery is taken by the end of the year. So some more incentives coming there, 8,000 yuan in China.
And I think incentives locally as well, Tom. Is that correct? If you buy a 2023 Model 3?
I think so. Yeah. Some discounts for sure, end of the year. And of course, in New South Wales, order before New Year's Day, you'll get that $3,000 rebate too.
And was there a 5,000 kilometer supercharging or something like that?
Yes. Yeah, free
on
supercharging.
the Model 3 long range vehicles. Yeah.
Thanks, Riz.
Nice. One more story about China. So again, back on the insurance, you can see the year-on-year growth over the last. Yeah, sorry, is it year on year? No, over the last year. Sorry, a week-on-week growth. That's good. Lots happening around the world.
Yeah, and I think that these numbers are great, even though year to date, quarter to date, they're 1.8% behind. But obviously, with the amount of people in China, with the amount of the economy and the money in China as well, coming up to the end of the year, loads of companies, including Tesla, now they're also advertising as well and marketing as well, will be looking at making that final push for the new year. So yeah, definitely Tesla's doing great numbers in China. And then the marketing hype from Cybertruck as well just means more people from China are going to want to go and have a look at Tesla anyway if they haven't done so already. Win-win situation for Tesla coming up towards the end of the year in China, considering they've had a couple of years when they've retooled the factory, numbers have dropped down. Yeah, good to see Tesla in China is still a luxury brand that's still going up.
Yeah, demand is very strong. That's very, very much so in China for EVs or new energy vehicles, they call it over there. Yes, Tassie EV1, question about the Kona EV media embargo. So I should clarify this. I actually read the embargo wrong on my email. So I thought it was actually 1st of December this week for the electric Kona. So that's still TBC. The embargo list for ICE and the hybrid variants, which I'm not so interested in, but the EV variant is still under embargo until further notice. I think they're still clarifying the price with Hyundai Korea because, well, prices have come down for EV, so and they need to play the game, don't they, in Australia, which is good. Good to see. All right, so let's move on with this. Caption this, everyone. So this is a picture, for those who are listening, of a Model Y doing some strange things near a Tesla supercharger. Wrong answers only, please.
I think she tried to reverse and accidentally went. Sorry, I shouldn't say she. Whoever the person driving was, possibly tried to reverse and accidentally went in drive mode and went forward, mounting the curb. That's about the only thing I can think of, gents.
Yeah, you can see the supercharger cable too on the ground dangling there. Weird. Maybe testing stalkless in preparation for Highland. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
just
jeez.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
I don't know what's happened there, but I guess I thought Tesla had some sort of a system on preventing accidental forward acceleration when you, and I wonder if the Highland's better, because if it automatically selects the gears for you, then you would think that it can select the reverse instead of, but you never know. Anything's possible.
Just
Actually,
trying to
on
think, has the airbag deployed in that driver's
Ooh.
seat there?
I'm just foggy. Actually, on that point, Riz, about automatic gear shift, it's still in beta mode, by the way, on the Highland car. You can shift it in and out if you don't want it, but it's not 100%. Today, I parallel parked just for a test, and so I let the car choose which way to go. Didn't quite make the right choice, and also at a car park, it didn't quite make the right choice. Had I followed, I would have crashed into the wall in front of me. So it's not quite there yet. Yeah, a lot of work. Hopefully, a future software update.
Yeah, I think that's a good point there, Tom, as well. And just a note even there for Tesla owners, long-term, new, even if you've had it for a couple of months, all of those features that Tesla does advertise, they always come with a caveat that you should always be monitoring your car at all times while you're driving, even as much as you may have driven it. Because, even though Angela and I have driven it interstate a few times, there's been at times when we expected the car to do something very, very easy task, but it hasn't performed, and that can throw you off when you're driving at 100, 110 Ks. So yeah, always be mindful, always be vigilant, and always keep your hands on the wheel, and watch your car as you're driving.
Yes, that's right. So be careful at all times. All right, well, let's quickly say hello to our sponsors and thank them for sponsoring the channel. As always, we have Carloop, Koba Car Insurance, Wallbox Wall Connectors, and Evee car sharing. So thank you for those sponsors for supporting the channel. Closer to home, let's have a look at this supercharger location in New South Wales. Yes, in New South Wales on the Hume Freeway is not ready yet, but not far off. It was a full house at Gundagai, so it'll be a welcome addition. Yes, I agree. Be a nice alternative. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I assume it's 12 somewhere. So 12 stalls. That's pretty good for the Hume Freeway.
It's happening.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the New South Wales government funded ones. So hopefully it'll be available to all EVs, which would be really much appreciated on the Hume Freeway. Because sometimes they're a bit hit and miss, particularly at Gundagai at the moment. Okay, let's take some more comments. Nigel Wong asks, "Hey Tom, have you test driven the BYD Seal? When will we see a test drive video from you?" Yeah. I mean, I'm asking BYD a couple of things last few weeks for the Dolphin, and I guess the Seal just made it to showroom, so still fresh. Look, I get what I get. You know, maybe the other journalists, the proper journalists, will get to test drive them first, and then we'll just take the scraps, hey? But we'll do what we can for the channel. We'll do what we can. So stay tuned, Nigel. It's coming. Okay, so cool. All right, let's keep going and let's share this as well. So this is also another supercharger location. Construction in Bairnsdale. Did I pronounce that right? Bairnsdale, Victoria?
Bairnsdale, yeah.
Bairnsdale, yep. 3 stalls, 250 kilowatts. Where's Bairnsdale?
Gippsland. Rahul, you've been past there on your trips?
Oh, you're on mute, Rahul.
Sorry, gents. I'm just trying to see. Bairnsdale, yes. Not on my way to South Gippsland, but I think this is more sort of coming towards Taragan Way and then down into Bairnsdale, that way there. But yeah, a good place to have charging there. And I think that next spot, I'm trying to think, when I did visit, didn't have a Tesla supercharger, and now has a Tesla supercharger as well. So this means there's another spot there in between. So you're not going to run out of charge. You're not going to have range anxiety.
No, it's good to see more in the regions. That's definitely what we need. And having a Woolies so close by as well, I'm sure there's probably facilities and amenities, right, for you to stop and refresh yourself while you're charging too. It's good. Now, this is really interesting. This article here from The Driven. Australia cracks down on EV fast charger reliability to address range anxiety. So this is kind of what we've been asking for, Riz, I think, isn't it? Some accountability on uptime for EV DC fast chargers in particular.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I guess we'll find out what happens. I think if we say 98%, does that mean up to 6 days of downtime is allowed a year? We just don't know. I guess we'll find out. Chris Bowen knows what's happening, and hopefully this can be adopted very quickly by a lot of the charging infrastructure providers. But I think reliability is definitely improving already. Whether this does anything or not, we'll find out. Usually it's just a slap on the wrist, but maybe this is more forceful. So yeah, good to see there's some direction from the federal government on improving our charging infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? I mean, maybe they've listened to us on the chat, just going on and on about it on our live streams. Maybe someone who makes those decisions has actually thought about doing it. So I'm glad to see this. I mean, 98%, you're right. It's still 6 days in the year. Hopefully not those critical 6 days like Good Friday and Easter Monday, Boxing Day, Christmas Day. But yeah, I mean, 6 days is still 6 days.
Just quickly, that other spot that I was talking about was Can River, which has the Tesla Superchargers now online. So the Bdale charger obviously adds to the reliability of charging infrastructure in that area, which has unfortunately been underserviced in the past. But I think between the New South Wales government and the Victorian destination charging infrastructure fund there as well, that black hole or those black spots are actually now being covered as well.
Yes, so look at this, 98% is actually less than the newly imposed 99% bar set by the UK government, but more than 97% targeted uptime in the US. So yeah, we're sort of in between the two countries there. 4,000 fast charging stations were not operating. Wow, what a joke. That's a lot. Not good. Apparently 97% EV are claiming on their network uptime. Okay, interesting. I suppose of the networks out there, I mean, EV probably, anecdotally, I don't have the stats, Riz, probably a bit better than some of the others.
Yeah, I think EV networks, because they sort of own their own sites as well as chargers, it's in their best interest to do that, unlike ChargeFox that claims that they own, or they're the largest network, but, they don't really own any of the hardware or the sites themselves. So I think that's where EV has more of an incentive, like Tesla, for example, to keep them running as long as possible.
Yeah, what's interesting too is this line here. Tritium is currently struggling under the weight of heavy losses, a massive slump in their share price. We talked about that as well. But what's really curious is that overseas, what is it here? Tritium is claiming 98% uptime in the UK. I mean, that's pretty high, considering some of the experience we've had here in Australia, some of the older generation ones too. So certainly different experience down under. We'll see. Yeah, good point from Tassie EV1. What does EV mean by uptime? It'd be great to see some stats, right? Be more transparent with that kind of thing. I agree, Simon. Mostly
it comes down to the federal government still not having its like an EV strategy out there as yet, including the fuel emission standards as well. I think once they're in place, once the federal government has something in place as well, there should be more transparency from the operators to share those uptime facts or the data with us. Obviously, at this stage, they don't have the incentive to do so.
Yep, exactly. But just for like trust, I think they probably should, but they probably won't because it's some of them aren't publicly listed in Australia. So, but if they receive government money, you would hope that's the good thing to do, to share that kind of information with us. Just quickly moving on, staying with AC charging in general. This is a AC charging location in Muswellbrook in New South Wales, in the Hunter region, so in the Woolies car park. This is a New South Wales government-funded AC charger. Thank you to our viewer Simon H for sharing this. So this is actually, gents, a Victorian-made charger.
Yep. I've actually seen some of these this week, Riz and Tom, at the North Aquatic and Recreation Centre, which is just down the road from us. And they've got 5 chargers there. You got to bring your own cable. But yeah, AC charging at 11 kilowatts. Yeah, you know, no emissions while you go and yeah, either swim or get some exercise in and fuel up your body as well. Your car's doing the same as well. Wonderful to have.
But Rahul, I work out for like 2 hours. I mean, half an hour is not enough.
That's right.
No, just kidding. Yeah, half an hour's plenty.
It's actually pretty interesting. We did some work on utilization of chargers, and aquatic centers, interestingly enough, the average dwell time was 63 minutes. I think there were about 35 sites we looked at. So part of it could be because they're free charges. A lot of them are offered by councils. So people hang out, or maybe people do work out for 60 odd minutes. And yeah, there were obviously outliers. I saw a few in Sydney, I think, near Chatswood, and they were like definitely over 2 hours. I think it was all of Tom's sessions.
They got to cater for me, you know, so I'm thankful for that. But yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get some really buff EV drivers in the next couple of years, right? If they're all next to aquatic centers and gyms. Just saying. Yeah. Thank you, Sensei, for gifting a membership. Much appreciated. I think the beneficiary this time was Mark Ng. Thank you very much. And yeah, Blue EV says providers should be mandated if they receive government funding with a dashboard like WA. Yep, agreed. And Bjorn is showing that the RND network is not so good in Europe for tritium. Yep. He's great. He does some real world stuff, so he would be the one to show what's happening. Yep, agreed. Tassie EV1, uptime needs specific metrics, correct? And Adam Peck saying minimum service levels too, correct? Hey, Paul, nice of you to join us this evening. Welcome. All right, well, let's move on. We're almost at the end, but we've got a few more stories to share real quick. So this kind of made the news over the last week. So Australian Hospital Group and Golf Club ban EV charging because of fire risks. Gents, this stirred up a few people this week, didn't it?
Yeah. I think this is Monash Hospital. I don't know the golf club, but yeah. Look, my thoughts. Yeah, I charge it for 240 volt. The Tesla, plug charger most of the time. Even while I'm traveling, while I'm at home, never had any fire related issues whatsoever. Yeah, I just feel this is FUD, and I'm not sure how it contributes to the conversation about getting more people to take up EVs, because there's a percentage of people who are going to read this article and then decide no, they're not going to buy an EV because of that risk, which is unfounded, by the way. So yeah, bad article, not in good taste, according to me.
Riz, thoughts?
Yeah, Monash Health, they operate a fair few hospitals and medical facilities in sort of southeast of Melbourne, serve a large area. So it's a bit disappointing that they, rather than getting a proper assessment done as to why there is such a fire risk at their sites, they've gone out and actually stopped people from charging. I guess we'll get past it one day if there is proper sort of guidelines and mandates from the federal government. Obviously, we know the state government here is not too interested in anything to do with EVs, so it's not really going to come from them. And given, Monash Health, Victoria, the health department funds it, they clearly don't have any backing to send out the right advice and work through those issues rather than sort of outright saying you aren't allowed to charge there. So hopefully some very clever people in the medical sectors, doctors, nurses that that work out of those hospitals can actually get rid of some of these doubts that the operators might have.
Yeah, what's curious too is that this lineup highlighted, it says this ruling excludes Monash Health leased EVs, which may still be charged at designated Monash Health charging stations at selected sites. This alone says it's not evidence-based. They're just saying, okay, you're allowed to charge. They're still EVs. There's nothing special just because they've got the Monash Health novated leasing on them. So it's weird. I mean, I work in the health industry and, it's very much evidence-based. That's what they drive in our CPD, continuing professional development. This kind of stuff needs to be evidence-based as well. Not a single EV has caught fire charging in Australia in how many years we've had EVs in this country. So I highly recommend, if anyone from Monash Health or anyone else in this country has got, decisions to make like this, I suggest you look up evfiresafe.com, which is run by Emma Sutton, friend of ours. Emma Sutcliffe. She's the CEO of that organization. She's a firefighter herself, and she's done a lot of research into EVs and fires safety around EVs. So check that out, get some evidence into you instead of making these sweeping decisions based on basically nothing. So, yep, get some facts, get it sorted out. That's what I'll say. Cool. All right, let's move on, and we want to congratulate Harold Murphy, who is back in Perth, I think, after traveling around Australia. Another big lap. 13,000 kilometers. Amazing. And look at that, day 10, 1,649 kilometers. That's a huge distance. Huge.
I think Neil Bolton, that we spoke to last on one of our live streams, might have done it in 14 days. So Harold's well and truly taken the lead in this one. And from what I can gather, this is not his first time that he's done it. I think this is his fourth circumnavigation trip of Australia. So yeah, well done, Harold. Great work. And
day 10, so 10 days around Australia, like that's a phenomenal achievement.
It's awesome. I had the pleasure of meeting Harold in WA when I was there, when I got picked up in my Spectre, and before I caught up with Twiggy Forrest on the Margaret River, Harold and I had a quick chat, and he's such an awesome person, just so passionate about the community. Tesla Owners Club of WA doing an amazing job, and what they're doing is, and he's a practitioner. He's doing it, and he's showing people that you can do all of this without having to, worry about EVs can't go very far. Well, what's that? 1,649 kilometers in one day. I don't know many people. I've certainly never done that many kilometers in a single day. So he's a legend.
Yeah, 100% agree. And Richard did say, Richard's done some driving himself in his Model 3. 1,649 kilometers included 4 AC charges in that day. Wow, how is that even possible? Did he even sleep? Harold, what a legend. We salute you on Ludicrous Feed. I mean, 1,000 kilometers is enough for me. I don't think I've done that in one day. So 1,600, wow, incredible. Moving on, and last few articles. So yeah, BYD Alexandra in Sydney has got this baby sitting in their showroom. The BYD Seal looking beautiful in the flesh. So go check that out if you're in Sydney. And spotted in Paddington in Sydney again, the Atto 3 Sport Pack. I assume this is aftermarket. I don't know. Is this included with BYD factory? Probably not. Looks good though. Red calipers.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. Is this a BYD official pack, or?
No, I think it's aftermarket, but obviously this particular owner there is building their dreams in a BYD by ensuring they've got the most performance-orientated body kit. I mean, this is the future. Growing up as a car person, you wanted to see modified cars and modified EVs. That's awesome.
That's right. Very aerodynamic. Absolutely. Very impressive. Thanks for sharing that, Florian. And yeah, Richard, yeah, I think, don't take away from your achievement. You've done 1,666 kilometers in a day, but it was all DC. I mean, that's still very impressive. Yeah. Very impressive. And again, 1,900 kilometers in one day, but that was all DC. That's huge, Richard. Like, you guys are heroes. So almost 2,000 kilometers in one day. Seriously.
Well, Richard never sleeps. Like I said, he literally drove from Melbourne to Perth to pick me up in the Spectre, and it drives itself, so it's always charging. No, he's done some awesome trips. I think nearly 20,000 Ks around Australia to do what he did, and Harold is obviously setting the record straight with 10 days. That's awesome.
Yeah, well done. Oh, Charles, no, come on. You still drove from Hobart to Perth. That's still very good. 682 kilometers is still a lot. Like, don't dumb it down. It's great. Well done. Sorry, not sure what that was. Let's have a look at this, who was shared by Bridie, one of our friends of the channel. This is how to activate a Tesla destination charger in a car park with no reception. Let's see what she has to say.
So this is a good hack on how to charge at a destination charger if you have a non-Tesla EV. So today we've got a BYD 803 and we're in a car park that has very little reception. And to use these chargers, you have to open up your Tesla app and go and scan this little code. But in this car park, because there's no reception, you can't call up the station on the little Tesla map that comes up through that interface. So the hack that we discovered is that what you do is you go and you plug the car in like that. Now, we did this last night, so the car is already charged to 100%, but you'll get the blue flashing light on the unit, and then go somewhere where you've got reception. Take a photo of the QR code and send it to another phone or to a computer or somewhere else. And then go somewhere that you've got reception so that you can go into the Tesla app and call up the charging site. And then you can just scan the QR code and activate the charging. I found that when I had to go up to the apartment to do that, I then had to come back down to the car, and the key needed to be near the car, and then it started activating. So there you have it. Tesla charger, non-Tesla destination hack.
Excellent. Thank you, Bridie. What a good piece of information. And that probably applies to other providers too. I've had the misfortune of being stuck in a car park with no reception for another provider. I plugged in and went upstairs and went to another place with reception and started it. So yeah, that certainly translates to others. Otherwise, if you've got an RFID card for some of those other providers, that's worth getting to. Just tap and go. So yeah, that's a nice hack. Thank you, Bridie. Much appreciated. And I agree, Richard, a lot of places don't have reception underground, so be very careful. It's the way it is, isn't it? Yeah, Gaffer makes a good point. If there's a local guest Wi-Fi, yep, that's another option too. And yeah, it's not super intuitive, but certainly one way around it if you're stuck in that situation. All right, moving on. This is Outback Tesla, our good friend Richard. Not the most tidy. I think he's in the UK. Not the most tidy version, but we've seen many of these curbside chargers on morning walks. Great to see so many EVs on roads as well. Yeah, it's an old, cruddy-looking lamppost, but it doesn't matter. It's got an EV charger, so yay! How good's that?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be pretty. It just needs to be functional. Yeah, with the number of EVs in Europe, in UK, yeah, I think these are definitely much needed in the UK. Parking's also a premium around the UK as well, having visited a few times and some of the neighbourhoods that I've stayed in, visiting family. Yes, as you can see, they park, front to back to front, whichever way they can get their way in. So yeah, having these charging spots there overnight for people is an absolute, helpful to have in the UK.
Yeah, and I suggest a lot of inner city areas too, in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth, our denser capital cities, to overcome areas where there's no off-street parking for residents. So this is one way around it for sure. On a funnier note, this is a high-performance sports car, probably a nice car, icing away as they do. And they got a ticket apparently too. So this is in the Gold Coast in Queensland, where it's not cool if you do this kind of thing. You will be caught. Don't do it.
My daughter would quickly like to add and say, what car is it, Malaya?
Lamborghini.
Oh,
Yeah, we think it's a Lamborghini, yes.
Looks like it. Thank you. You like it? I thought so. I like it too. hopefully an EV version. Hey, Riz, one day you're the high performance luxury EV man.
That's it. One day when our friends in Italy, which I'm pretty sure it's Lamborghini, is also owned by Audi Volkswagen Group. One day we will see more of these. But in the meantime, we'll probably have to wait for Rimac or Tesla Roadster or Zeekr with Kimi Raikkonen mode to make its way to Australia. But Lamborghinis look cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do look
great car, not so good of the owner. And I believe from what the blurb saying at the bottom, that the community did call that in, and he did get a ticket as well. Obviously he can afford it, but it just means that he will think twice the next time as well. I think that's what it comes down to, being community minded as well. And I did do that over the weekend at the Northcote Aquatic Recreation Centre. 5 EV chargers, 3 of them were iced. Unfortunately, one by a Tesla who was not charging but just parking there. And I believe, I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt, he may have thought that the charging was there along with the cable. Probably didn't realize that and didn't have a cable. But yes, just leaving his car parked there was not a good look for other EV drivers as well. So
yeah, not cool if you are not charging. Make sure you're plugged in. Even if it's not working, I wouldn't park there because someone's going to take a photo of my car and put it on some Facebook group. But we don't condone you vandalizing anything. Please don't destroy this car. Just leave it. And if you must report it to council or SnapSenseSolve or something like that, just to report these people. But yeah, don't touch them. It's illegal for a start. It's a crime. Just saying. A good friend, Nash, Mayor of Nashville, tested in the gong some new 450 kilowatt capable liquid cooled DC charging solutions from Lotus Cars. Looking beautiful there. Concept or reality?
Ooh.
Nice.
So I noticed Nash tagged Tritium as well. So these are Lotus chargers, but are they obviously the equipment is Tritium? Is that correct, Tom?
Not sure. I did see that too. Yeah, he did tag Tritium, didn't he?
Or maybe he's suggesting to Tritium that they need to build chargers that are more reliable.
Possibly. I didn't realize they made such fast chargers. I thought it was only 350. I could be wrong. So I don't know. It could be another brand.
And interestingly enough, the post is from Lotus Cars. So are they making these chargers just for Lotus cars to use because of the next gen high voltage EVs, or are they looking at rolling it out to other EVs as well? They look super flash.
Well, I guess an example would be the Porsche chargers around Sydney and Melbourne. Are they accessible by all or just Porsche vehicles?
My understanding are that the DC ones. Oh, I think mainly by Porsche and Audi cars, because they're pretty restricted. There's not many of them. But yeah, maybe that Lambo should go and park there and get a charge.
Stick it somewhere. Yeah. Thank you for that, Nash. And this is thank you to Barry W, who lives in Bangkok, Thailand. He sends me photos sometimes of vehicles he sees testing away near his apartment there. This is the let me get this right. This is the Shenlen SL03 EV, doing some engineering testing there in Thailand. And look at that logo. Looks very familiar, doesn't it?
It's clearly Changlan.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, that's what it looks like inside. Someone said, yeah, look, the screen swivels in that thing. So interesting. Or I don't know if it swivels, but it's certainly facing the passenger. I assume it swivels. That's the bin there. 2225 kilograms. That's actually quite heavy for a sedan type thing. There's an MG4 next to it, so that's a comparison. Not a bad looking vehicle. That looks very BYD-ish, doesn't it? The caps.
The wheels are very BYD-ish. The front lights look like a Nissan Silvia S15. The logo looks like actually the front. Yeah, the front looks a bit Lamborghini-ish. Yeah,
definitely Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat your heart out. Yeah, thanks, Barry. Appreciate that. Last few stories. So this is NIO's Power Swap Pilot. 29 high-speed service areas have been opened. Approximately 60 swap stations that are already supported. So NIO doing their battery swap good things in China. It's good. And quickly, I just want to share this from EVSE, a press statement here that they are rolling out 58 ocular charging units at Parliament House, which is good to see. Yeah, Brendan and Sam doing some good work at EVSE, helping our federal government put in some chargers in the backyard. Hopefully some politicians will take note.
I think this is what happens when you've got a good EV policy. Canberra, ACT having the highest density of EVs in Australia, and yeah, great infrastructure as well, backed by a progressive government, looking at being emissions free, I think by 2030, if not, by 2035, one of those timeframes there. So yeah, great work, and yeah, Parliament House leading the way from top, showing how we can have AC charging. Park your cars, go back home, park your car again, charge car again, and you're ready to go. The future being delivered by the by Parliament House. It's a great way to get that implemented across Australia for all Australians.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep. Yeah, as I said, get more polys into EVs, and you'll see the landscape change very quickly for their electorate. So, yep, good initiative there for sure. Cool. We're almost at the end of our stream. Let's take a few more comments real quick. I like this from Peter Cook. 3-store Lotus chargers will be nostalgic. Lotus 1, 2, 3. Nice. Very good. We've got Richard saying plenty of 450 kilowatt chargers in China. XPeng have them. Yep, I think that's true. We touched on that, I think, earlier this year. And Tassie EV1 says, let's hope they're not tritium for Alpatronics or Chempower for Lotus hardware. I agree. And yes, thank you, Jess. Smash that like button. Thank you. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you for your generosity tonight too. Yes, you get aftermarket screen swivels for BYD and Tesla as well. And ACT has no control over what happens in the parliamentary triangle. Yes, I think that's right, isn't it? Oh, yes, Monash Health should pay attention to. Yes, I mean, it's in Parliament House, right? Should be okay for Monash Health, I would have thought. Great call, Aaron. Nice one. Okay, let's end the stream tonight with this article. It's not quite Christmas, but this is Mark Bayer's Geek Journal account saying, my wish list for the Tesla Xmas update, activation of matrix LED lights, fix the auto wipers, activate the center horn, which was promised in 2022, proper speed sign recognition, improve Tesla vision, please, offer front camera retrofit for hardware for vehicles, add a 360-degree view, that'd be good, hard without a front bumper camera though, summon functionality for hardware 4, and disable auto play when I enter my car. Okay, so yeah, leave those wish list things in the comments below after the show tonight, and maybe we'll touch on some of those next week. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us. Gents, thank you as always. Riz and Rahul, we'll start with you, Riz. Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. Lots happening. And yeah, look forward to seeing those who join us on Saturday and everyone else next week.
Thank you, Riz, and thank you, Rahul, as always.
Thanks, Tom, and thanks, Riz. Yeah, thank you for entertaining a special guest on the live stream tonight. What's your favorite car, Malaya?
Tesla.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Tesla.
I wonder
of course
why.
It has to be.
But yeah, thank you. And again, thank you for our live stream audience. Hugely appreciated. Over 170 of you staying with us for the hour. So we do appreciate it. Tom and Riz will see you on Saturday, but I'm going to go put this little one to bed, and I shall see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Malaya. Have a good night, both of you. And thanks, Riz, again. And thank you to our live stream audience. You guys are the best audience on earth. Very informed, very educated, and always engaging, keeping this channel the way it is. Awesome. So thank you so much. As Rahul said, Riz and I will be back on Saturday morning. And yes, thank you everyone for gifting memberships and being members tonight, and for all your donations. As I said, we'll be donating to a charity very soon on the stream as a gesture for the end of the year. So give us your suggestions. And yeah, thank you for joining us as always. So until next time, Happy charging and take care. Bye for now.